Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Harry Sommer, President and CEO of Norwegian Cruise Line, joining us right now. And Harry, there's been so much talk here about the bump that we've seen in this industry, the bump that we've seen out of Norwegian specifically here. Is there any sense here that that's fading?
No. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. No, we do not see any fading. Consumer demand continues to be very, very robust. You know, when we reported our Q1 earnings and reiterated it again in our Investor Day last month, we see demand at all-time highs, occupancy at all-time high, future book positions at all-time high, all on higher pricing. We are very, very encouraged by the American consumer.
When we look at the American consumer and we look at their sensitivity to prices and inflation and the like here, how sticky do you feel the cruise line business is? I mean, there's always been these anecdotes that the people who love cruises will always cruise no matter the economic conditions. Is that really true?
So certainly, listen, there are two different sets of people. There are people that are historic cruisers, that are avid cruisers, and absolutely we see them coming back. Our repeat rate is at or near high levels compared to where we were on a pre-COVID basis. But at the same time, we are attracting a record number of new to cruise as well, especially in the younger demographics, which are our fastest growing segments. You know, cruising at some point been associated with a slightly older clientele, and now we're seeing younger people in their 30s and 40s coming to cruising in record numbers also, which we're very pleased with.
Okay, so that's really interesting, the breakdown of your demographic. When we look at the American consumer and demand from them, there is a perception among investors that the more indebted cruise lines, and I look at your debt to asset ratio, it is higher than your peers. They are a levered consumer discretionary name, and that makes you more vulnerable to any weakness in middle class spending. Is that view wrong?
You know, I'm not necessarily sure if that view is wrong, but you have to sort of think about who our demographic is as well. You know, within our portfolio, we have three brands: Norwegian Cruise Line, which is one of the more higher-end consumer brands, and then we have an Oceania Cruise brand, which is more of an upper premium brand, and then Regent Seven Sea Cruises, which is a luxury brand. And across our portfolio, in their respective segments, they are the highest priced and therefore attract the highest quality demographic customer. Mm-hmm. You know, we are not looking at low-end consumers. We're looking at high, middle-class, lower, upper-class consumers that seem to be doing very, very well in the current consumer market. But there's a second piece to it that I'd also point out, in that the value proposition between us and a hotel vacation has never been higher. You know, the typical cruise ADR, average yield per night, is about 30 to 40% less than an equivalent hotel vacation, despite the fact that cruises offer more. We're not just transportation and hospitality. Mm-hmm. We also have meals, entertainment, and other onboard amenities. So good value, upper consumer demographic, and good value versus the hotel industry.
Sure.
All point us in the right direction.
Right, and there are definitely a group of investors who like that story, who buy that thesis, and are bullish on cruise line operators. Yet, when I look at your stock over the past 12 months, up about 2% versus up 25% for Carnival and 68% for Royal Caribbean, what do you attribute that difference to? Why the underperformance?
You know, I think about a year ago, we had slightly higher aspirations for 2023 that we were able to achieve, and that caused a little bit of disappointment in the financial community. But I think at this point, we have to sort of put that behind us and focus on for 2024. You know, since coming out with our initial guidance for 24, we've now raised it twice, just a few weeks apart from each other, because our top line revenue number continues to overachieve our expectation and Wall Street consensus. So I agree we might have gotten a little bit ahead of our skis in 23, which didn't do well for our stock in the back half of last year. But now coming into this year, we are absolutely seeing a rebound off of that. Our stock's up 8% in the last month, which we're very, very happy with. Mm-hmm. About a month ago, we discussed our long-term goals on our Investor Day for 25 and 26, which seems to be resonating very well in the market as well.
All right, good stuff. Harry, really appreciate your joining us today. Harry Sommer is President and CEO of Norwegian Cruise Line.